Hey everyone, Paul Sam. Welcome to part 3, the third and final part of our Revell 125th Oldsmobile 442 video build. So, hot off the heels of part 2. If you're watching this, that time has definitely changed. I haven't done this straight after the other one. Alright, maybe I have. You caught me out. But we're going to get this finished today. So final stages, it's just final assembly, all the tricky bits. We're going to polish the body up, get all the glass in, get those wheels to fit, which, yes, they do. They look great as well. And we can get this on the road to being fully finished. And we'll come back in a bit and have a little chat about the build itself. So let's crack on and let's start off where we left off in part 2. Right then, so we're back. This chrome, the Revell chrome that we sprayed on the bumpers and the other trim, has been drying for 4 days now. And while it is dry, it's still not handleable. It is smudging off and dulling when handled, or you run your finger over it. So we need to do some experimentation here. I tried clearing it on the Super Bee. That worked quite well. It was handleable, but it did dull it quite a bit. So the search for the ultimate chrome still continues. This is a good contender. But yes, it is the holy grail of modelling. So we're painting the centre of the grills with Tamiya Enamel X18 semi-gloss black. We've still got the bumper on our cocktail sticks, don't need to handle it. So with that done, we can then glue in our lights as well while everything dries. Obviously it's enamel paint, it's going to take a few days to fully dry. So we've got some Deluxe Materials glue and glaze. We cut our headlights off their clear plastic sprues. Just put a little bit in there. Pot the lights in with our tweezers and allow those to dry. Put them somewhere safe, let the grill dry and let those lights dry as well. Little spotlight, fog lights in the bottom of the grill as well. Tricky to pick up sometimes. Precision tweezers are helpful here, even though I can't pick her up myself. There we go. We can pop it in like so and job done. There we go. Like I say, we put that to one side to dry. And while we're here, we'll stick the emblem on as well. So this piece we forgot to paint originally. Had to repaint it quick before we 2K'd. Pop the decal on, do the 2K. But with a couple of drops of CA glue, we can pop it in place. Make sure it's pushed fully home. And there we go. Bish bash bosh. That job's done as well. Wing mirrors while we're here as well. We've got the glue and glaze out. I like to let this stuff kind of sit out and go tacky for a while. I find it glues a lot better once it thickens up a touch. We can get our chrome mirrors in. These are just a chrome from the kit. Cut them off, clean them up, and pop them in place like so. And there we go. A little bit tricky to line up. And again, put them to one side to dry. And the wheels. Obviously, these are the wheels off the Lexus LFA. These are surplus to requirements off that kit. The kit actually doesn't come with any brake discs and calipers. So go through my spares box where I have quite a few from numerous kits I've built over the years. And I was looking for a set that are big enough to fill without looking too small, without looking too odd. And I think these are probably like a Skyline or something. So we painted them in Mr. Hobby Super Iron, I think it is. We've painted these in. We're going to detail paint the centre of the hubs with some Vallejo model colour black. It's been thinned with a drop of water. So just very, very carefully with a nice with a nice brush. Sorry, this is a Winsor & Newton Series 7. We just very carefully brush over it. Any excess we get on there, we can wipe off with our cotton bud. We'll put the water-based paint over a lacquer paint, so it'll wipe off no problem at all. In this case, just take your time, be as neat as you possibly can. But like I say, you know you can wipe it back off later, should you need to. Of course, you can mask this up. I've done the trick before using my display circle cutter. But sometimes it's just quicker to hand paint it. Wheels I've opted to leave in the kit chrome. The Tamiya chrome is fantastic. Kind of matches the bumper and the rest of the trim on the car. So what I'm going to do for now is give all the wheel nuts a panel line wash in the centre. Leave that to dry and then we'll wipe off any excess later. Did toy with stripping these and painting them a different silver, but I actually kind of like the finish on these. Discs, while we're here as well, they are cross-grooved discs. We can get our Tamiya panel line wash in there as well. And we're going to paint the calipers in red. So we've got Tamiya X7, I believe it is, enamel red. And 2 or 3 coats of this will be sufficient to cover them. It's a red car, so I think red calipers are quite apt for it. Like I say, just a couple of coats, let it dry. It goes tacky quite quick, takes forever to fully cure. But once it's gone tacky, you can get another coat on there, be nice and careful. Load your brush up and carefully paint it on. And there we go. Like I say, these are faux calipers. They're not going to connect anywhere. I'm just going to stick them to the back of the wheel, and then we'll connect the wheel the right way round at the end. We're going to have to do a bit of bodgery to get these wheels to fit, so I'll explain that as we come to it. So as you can see, we've got the original mounting points already on the hubs. I've got some plastic tube from, let me think, Plastruct it's from, and I've picked a piece big enough to fit the hub on the wheel. And then I put a smaller piece to fit inside that tube that fits in the original axle. And then using a piece of aluminium rod I've got that I've cut to size, with a little drop of CA glue, we'll make our own new connection point in there. So do that for each side, just put it on the other side and measure it. Now I did go and break my wire cutters. The wire cutters my buddy Andy Callis sent me years ago, all the way from Florida. I've used them for cutting everything and anything, and they died a death. They're on the right, see them on the far right? So I've tried to cut through and I snapped the blade. Absolutely gutted. I cut through a tube like this many, many times with it, and yes, it just died a death, and they actually broke their blade off. So absolutely gutted. So we used a razor saw on this, nice and gentle, and then with our mounting point, we've pushed in the hole of the wheel, and then that fits over the metal tube we've pushed into the axle. It's getting a little bit of jiggery pokery once we get the body on properly. I'm just test fitting for now. We can repeat that for the front as well. We can paint all this up too. Like I say, I'm just test fitting to now to make sure the ride height's right, the stance is right, the wheels are the right width. So we're just having a little bit of a check, and I've got to say they look pretty good. And RRP, my cutters, look at that, absolutely snapped the blade off, absolutely gutted. Now I have to find a new pair of cutters. So I'm going to have a cup of tea and sulk. Right then, so the body's dried now. It's been curing for about 5 days. The 2K is well and truly dry. We've got my 3000, 6000, 8000 trisec pads. We're going to flat this back. Get rid of any high spots, any dust, anything that might have landed in the 2K. Quite clean this one, to be honest. We'll also lose some of the thickness of the 2K doing this. And then we'll polish it all back up to a perfect finish using the Ultimate Compound and Polish system as well. So go around carefully. These trisec pads from 3M are very, very, very efficient. So you don't need to go mad with them. Be wary of any raised areas, anywhere that sticks up, any edges where the paint is inherently thinner. And just take your time, work your way around until you get it nicely flatted. So there we go. Working our way around, doing our magic on the body. So just take your time. Like I say, be very aware of the edge of the paint. It's always thinner on the edge, so don't sand there as much. As you can see, the 3M pads, they really work very efficiently. Just a few swipes of this will dull the paint back, and this is what we want. We're not trying to take it all the way back. We're just dulling the paint and getting a nice even finish all over. And we'll work up from the 3000, 6000, 8000, so up to the less aggressive grit. And then we use a compound and a polish to remove any sanding marks left. And we should end up with a nice shiny finish. So I think that's probably the 3000 done now. This will be the 6, I would guess. And we've got a little bit of washing up liquid on our water as well. And then when we've gone through all 3 grits, we can come in with the compound from UMP. So this is a more aggressive polish. I'm just going to go around, and again, being careful of any raised areas, any corners and what have you, because it's so easy to burn through the paint. And trust me, you are better leaving a slight fault than burning through and ruining everything, because it's very, very easily done. So just take your time, do a little bit at a time, stop, clean it off, check, come back, etc. until you're happy with the finish. But all we're trying to do here is get rid of those sanding marks. So I've got an old piece of t-shirt. This is where I find to be the best material. I've tried many materials over the years, and I always go back to all t-shirts. Just cut it up, you can wash it and reuse it. And using circular patterns, we're just going to buff it all up, polish it all up, and then get another clean piece and buff it all up. And we'll go around the whole car body doing that, and then come back with the polish and do exactly the same with the polish. So with a nice clean cloth, we can get all the compound off, and you'll see we've already got most of our shine back, because the compound is a very aggressive polish. And then work our way down the side as well. So just be systematic, work one side at a time, wipe it off, flip it round, do the other. Once you've done the compound, the only curse of our Pro Scale 2K being so good and so thin is the panel lines hold the compound. So I find you need a toothbrush, or the best way to do it is to load your cleaned airbrush up with water, crank up the pressure to 25-30 psi. Make sure it's water you're putting in, not lacquer thinner or anything daft, and just jet wash all the panels. This is by far the quickest way, in my opinion. And just jet wash them all, and then cut your wear, blow all the water off, dry it off, and we're ready for polish. So this is a great trick I've been using for years now, and it just makes getting all that residue out from the panel lines so much quicker and easier. And like I say, cut to wear, and you can use like a hair dryer then, and blow all the water off and down onto the kitchen paper, and then dry it off with some kitchen paper, and we're back to the polish then, which is the less aggressive of the two. Like I said, we've already got most of our shine back. This will get rid of any micro abrasions in there. So exactly the same as before, we're going to use circular patterns and, well, straight patterns where we need to. And we're just going to polish it all up. You can't repeat any of these steps, so if you think it needs sanded a bit more, or if you think it needs a bit more compound, you can go back. But just be aware, if you take too much of the clear coat off, there's no putting it back. So sometimes it's better to accept a slight flaw than ruin all of your hard work. It's just the way it is. It's just sometimes not worth pushing too far. Like I say, just be what's the word I'm looking for? Not religious. Just be methodic and go around everywhere. Do one panel at a time. I tend to do the roof, the boot, then one side, then the other, then the bonnet. That's how I tend to work. Pick a panel or two at a time and just work my way around. That way you know you've done it, and then get yourself a nice clean bit of cloth, wipe off all as much as the excess as you can, and then get a clean piece of the cloth again and buff it all back up. So this step, I know a lot of people skip this. A lot of people don't sand and polish their bodywork, but it is a step well worth doing. You're not always going to have to use every grit of paper. This one did. The 2K was a little bit thicker on this one than I would have liked. The car I'm working on at the minute, the PZY Porsche, the clear coat is super thin, looks fantastic. There's only a couple of specks of dust in it. I could get away with leaving it, but I won't. So what I'll do is I'll just go over it with 8000 Trizac and the UMP polish, and that will do it. It will work absolutely perfect. None of my paintwork is perfect. I'm not a liar about this stuff. I am completely honest, but I always try and do as good a job as I can. Now the glass, really nice fitting glass in this. I'm using my Bob Smith's Super Gold odorless glue. The glass moved at the worst possible time then, but thankfully I just grabbed it and popped it back in. And there we go, we just get it in place. Gently get our thumb back off and then hit it with our kicker. Top tip, if you use kicker, pick it up with the microbrush, wipe it off on the cloth. I always touch my t-shirt if you watch, see? And then touch it to it. Otherwise, if you get too much on, the capillary action will carry it onto the glass and destroy the glass. So always touch it yourself. Watch, see? Touch them into my body. I wear all t-shirts for modelling. They're not my good ones. And there we go. Like I said, the glass fits absolutely fantastic, both the front and the rear. It's not an old kit, this one. It is a fairly new tooled body shell and glass and what have you on this. I think it's not even a year old now. So pick a strategic point on the body where you're not going to see the glue. Pick up some on the brush. Just touch it, let the capillary action carry it. It will wick through the glue. No bother at all. Until it's held in place. And I always do a couple of pieces at the top and a couple of pieces at the bottom. And there we go, job done. You also get the radiator panel in as well. There's two locating points under the bonnet for this. So get it all lined up, make sure it's sitting in the right place. And again, we can glue that in too. And then we're going to paint the inside. I very nearly forgot to do this. If you remember on the Stinger, I actually did forget to paint the interior. Somebody pulled me on it on YouTube. I forgot on this one because I normally do it before putting the glass in. But luckily, just as I was about to put everything back together, I thought, oh, I haven't done that. So we've got some Vallejo model colour black, thinned with a drop of water, painted all the interior where it'll be seen. Any excess, like on the inner wheel arches here, we just got a moistened cotton bud, which I definitely did not lick. And we'll wipe off any excess where it's required. And then we can fit our interior, which pops in like so. So line up at the front, there's 2 locating points at the back. Just might need to prise out the body shell carefully a touch. Using my tweezers, there shouldn't be really at all. There we go. Check everything lines up, you got it in the right place, especially before you commit to any glue. And then when you're happy, a few dabs of glue on the mounting point at the back. And then we grab our kicker again. No need to wipe this off because there's no glass there. You can just let the capillary action carry it. And then our chassis can go in place. Now the engine needs to slot in with the fan into the fan housing. So make sure you try and get that piece in early enough as you can. We're going to pop the back in first. Again, you just got to gently pry the body apart. Just very carefully. There we go. Once you get it in, just check everything's still in place. The glass is still in, yep. And then we need to get that fan in. So we just need to very, very carefully manipulate everything in place. I'm just checking all the sides are not fouled. There we go, making sure the edges are good. That's it. Yeah, we're all good there. And now we can go and push the fan in place instead. So just take your time doing this. There's no rush at all. Just make sure nothing's foul. You don't want to force that fan in place. That piece right there. There you go. And something further back is foul because you end up breaking something. So make sure everything's clear. And there we go. All perfectly lined up. Sits absolutely perfect. Make sure everything's good. Then we can test fit our wheels. This is our first proper test fit of the stance because we've got everything in there now. So if anything's going to foul it, we can see it. They're a little bit tricky to get in because obviously they're not off this car. And they just need a little bit of adjustment. You just need a little bit taken off the leg from the actual wheel itself. But we already did that earlier. So now we can commit to glue. That made it sound like I was saying it needed doing, and we took it off earlier, I should say. So I'm just going to hold it in place. Super glued it in, hit it with some kicker, making sure that wheel's straight and it's sitting right. Now what I'm aiming for is the rim of the wheel to be just touching the edge of the wheel arch. That's exactly where I want this to sit. It was too low the way I had it the first time when I showed the pictures. It just looked really odd. So I'm just pushing in, pushing the wheel out where I want it, touching the glue to it, and then hitting it with the kicker. And there we go. Stance looks perfect to me. You can't see it just yet, but you will in a bit. There we go. Happy with that. Let's look back and have a little look. Same with the front. Get them in place. They've already been cut to size perfectly, so I know they all fit in. Get some Bob Smiths in there. Get everything straight and sitting where we want it. Also make sure you get your discs and calipers in the right orientation because they're stuck to the wheels. Don't forget that. I nearly fitted on the back. Oh, look, I've lost the brush off my micro brush. You get about 4 goes of the micro brushes before the head comes off with the kicker. That's what I found. And it always ends up stuck where you don't want it. But the Bob Smiths with the kicker is great. Gives you a little bit of time to work. So you can get everything nice and straight and sitting where you want it. Get a fresh brush. Touch it in place. There we go. While we're there, we're going to put a wash on the engine. So we've got some Tamiya black panel liner. It's enamel wash. Basically, if it holds a wash under the engine bay and it's metallic, it's getting a wash. pop it all in place. We'll do underneath as well. I normally like to do these outside the engine, but I found lately it gets quite tacky on some of the engine parts, and yeah, it can leave fingerprints. So I've been doing it when the model's together now rather than when I put the engine separate. Air cleaner and carbs in place. A tricky one to glue in place. So get some CA glue and just hold it for a second or two. There's some decals to go on the air cleaner as well, and a few decals to go on the panel at the front by the radiator as well. So we're going to get all those off now. So there we go, we've got the air cleaner decal on and these placard decals that go on the radiator housing. Well, just in front of it. So there's 3 of them in total. Great decal sheet with this kit, really comprehensive, loads in there. Just adds a bit of detail to the engine bay. Looks really good. And then we're going to pop our chrome grill in. So we're going to pop some normal CA glue in. This is the cheap stuff I got off Amazon. We're going to handle this bumper as little as we possibly can. Just get it in place, touch it and hold it. And there we go. Make sure it's in. Might need to be held for a couple of seconds. Give it a cuddle. There we go. Same on the back. A couple of locating points at the back. Very gently add a little bead of CA glue, and then again handle it as least as you can. It does fit really well. Just push it in. Hold it. Let the CA glue get its bond, like so. And just wait a minute. The glue will get it. Wing mirrors. We've got some Bob Smith Super Gold on there. We're chancing our luck. We just test fitted it. We could have pinned them, but I like living life on the edge. So let's see if we can get them on in one go without wrecking everything. Because super glue is both the creation and solution of all problems. It's great at gluing things on until the mirror slips, slides down the side of the car, and leaves a big glue streak. We've all been there. I know I have. But there we go. One on in one go. And the other one in one go as well. There's little indentations on the body so you can see where the mirrors go. Pinning them would be the easiest way. Like I say, I like living life on the edge. So there we go, that's those glued in place. I was worried for a second it was a bit of glue, and actually wasn't. I don't know what the hell it was, but it wiped off. We've got our bonnet stays. Are they stays? Like release handles or something, these, I think. It looks like they are. It looks like they turn. It looks like they're kind of a bonnet release, hood release. So I popped it in and turned it the right way. And then we've got our door handles. Again, I like to live life on the edge, so some Bob Smiths, a steady hand, precision tweezers, and I'm pointing at something on my bench. It's over there. And now it's over there. Oh, and up there. There we go. There's one on. And then the other. Bob Smith's glue is good. It takes a little bit of time to dry, but it doesn't fog up, so it works really, really well. The exhaust tips, I was going to try and fabricate my own. And when I looked at them, I thought, you know what? They're not that bad. They're in the factory kit chrome. And the chrome piece where it was mounted so you can see the bare plastic is actually underneath, so you can't even see it. So I thought, you know what? We'll use them. They look all right. We'll use them. So a couple of dabs of glue on each side, or one dab of glue on each side. You can line them up, make sure they're straight. And there we go. They look good. And the final touch, we've got some Ultimate Modeling Shine Spray. And we're going to go around and wipe this on. All this is, it's a spray wax, basically. We're going to go around, buff it all on, well, wipe it all on, let it haze up, and then using my nice clean cloth. I bought a pack of these. They're like giant glasses cleaning cloths. They're on Amazon. I got like 6 of them for £10. And they're absolutely fantastic for a final polish. This is the 3rd car I've used this one on now, and it's still going strong. All I use it is for doing this. So it's got a little bit of the spray wax on it, and it's great for wiping over the bodies. They are the perfect polishing cloth. They are really, really good. And you can see that shine. Look at the depth of the paint. It's absolutely stunning. Now, as I always say, it's far from perfect. None of my models are perfect. I just try and do as good a job as I can while enjoying the build and the hobby as much as possible. I'm not a perfectionist by any means. All my models have flaws on them. I'm open about them. I'll always show you if I screw something up. There's a few specks of dust still in there. It's just the way it is. But I think this looks absolutely beautiful. I love the wheels. As kind of an afterthought leftover wheel that I just kind of thought, wonder how they'll look. I absolutely love how they look. The engine bay is really nicely detailed on this kit as well. I bust on my signature, not painting under the bonnet as well. I know that's Joe Cook's signature as well. Very rarely do paint under there. But the interior is nice. We've got the Pro Scale flocking in there. All the wood decals look great. I think those wheels look absolutely phenomenal. The ride height is perfect on them. The paintwork is stunning. The GM Matador Red from Pro Scale looks absolutely fantastic. The 2K from Pro Scale, just doing the business again. Like I say, it's got a beautifully detailed engine. We wired that up with a Gopher distributor. Added some wires to the battery. And just a great kit. I highly recommend this one. Absolutely great fun build. Really well-spec'd kit. Goes together absolutely fantastic. And another build off the bench. It was another very enjoyable build. Just like the Super B, an 8-day build. Just a nice, clean, easy build from start to finish. I really do enjoy doing these American cars now. They're just good fun to do. And this thing just looks, I think it looks absolutely beautiful. So there we go. There she is. Look at the stance. Absolutely, in my opinion, perfect. She sits just absolutely spot on. I think it's a beautiful looking car. I think the rims, like I say, they're a complete afterthought, not even meant for this car. I think the wheels look absolutely fantastic, and I'm very happy how this one's turned out. So this was primed in Pro Scale Pink Primer. We prepped the body with Pro Scale pre-paint degreaser, flattened the prepped the surface with 3000 Tamiya sponge sander. Pro Scale Pink Primer, like I say. GM Matador Red from Pro Scale. The kit decals went on, no bother at all. Pro Scale 2K Clear, fantastic as usual. Taken back with the 3M pads, polished up with the Ultimate Polish system. Interior is done with black Pro Scale flock, black jet black leather from Pro Scale, and kit decals. And what a fantastic looking kit. And there we go, another one off the bench. I'm not sure what number build that is this year, but we're flying through them lately. I'm doing a build a week at the minute, so yes, we're doing quite well. But what a great kit. Absolutely brilliant. For, I think, the 30 odd pounds on Amazon. It's quite expensive for a Revell kit. It's just the way it is nowadays. It's a newish tool body. It's actually not that old a tool kit. I think it's 2009. It went together with no problems at all. I can't think of a single issue on the kit at all. None. Can't think of a single thing wrong with that kit. Absolutely brilliant. If they just put the connection points to the chrome sprues behind and you could reuse that chrome, the chrome is really good on the kit. It would be one of the most perfect kits I've built. Really good kit. Box art doesn't sell the kit at all. It looks awful on the box art. The built-up kit is a really pretty car, and I think Revell's underselling themselves there with that box art. But it is the way sometimes. Everyone's got a different eye of a car and how it should look. For me, it shouldn't look like that box art. It doesn't do it any justice at all. Great kit. Glad I had those wheels as well. I think the wheels look great. Just for a completely off-the-wall thought of, will they fit? I know it was a mixed response on Facebook when I asked. I think most people liked them, but I'm glad to put them on now. It looks great with them on. It really does. So highly recommend this kit. Go and get it for yourself. And yes, go and have a look at that one. It's brilliant. And there we go. Another kit off the bench. So there's another one done. I've still got the condensed video to voiceover. It's all edited and filmed. I've been busy this week editing. So that'll be up very soon after this one. And that's the one that I'll go over on ISM. As said in the last video, that's very nearly done as well. I'm literally going to do the finishing touches on that tomorrow and Thursday. And that's all done. That's been great fun to do as well so far. And then I'm hoping to make a start on my 037. My Model Fatty Hero kit is my plan. We get that out of the way. I've got a bench update to do for ISM. I've got a bench update to do for you guys again on Friday. I want to get another review done as well because I've got so much content at the minute. It's absolutely brilliant. It's doing me well. The Aston Martin is on hold for a second because this Porsche took over. But there'll be the build videos for that will be out as well, because that's about halfway through its build process too. So loads of content on the way, and you guys get full access to it all. So thank you for your continued support, everyone. You're absolute legends. Got any questions or comments, post them down below. Don't forget, only you guys get to see these videos, so please leave your feedback. Give the video a thumbs up as well. Let me know what you thought. And I'll see you in the next video, which will be the condensed video of all this condensed together. There we go. Thanks for watching, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Take care. Bye-bye.